Hello and welcome to your weekly dispatch, where we'll give you a rundown on stories of national, regional, and global importance. Here's what stood out for us this week. Over 30 people were killed in a tragic railroad accident in Pakistan. The Iranian Foreign Minister concluded a visit to Pakistan with trade agreements up to $5 billion, making a positive note in the diplomatic relations. Meanwhile, relations with Afghanistan seem to be souring as state officials exchange accusations in the midst of rising terror attacks. And for our feature story, we take a look at the arrest of the former Prime Minister of Pakistan as the current administration prepares to leave office. In a tragic accident, a Hazara Express train heading from Karachi to Abbottabad derailed near Sahara railway station in Sindh, Pakistan. Over 30 people lost their lives and many were injured in this horrifying accident. Initial findings by the railway department revealed that the derailment happened due to missing parts and damaged tracks. Shockingly, the train's engine started its journey without proper checks by senior staff, raising concerns about the safety procedures. Khwaja Saad Rafiq, the Railway and Aviation Minister, acknowledged the possible role of sabotage or mechanical issues, but emphasized the bigger problem, a lack of resources. He pointed out that insufficient funds were allocated for the maintenance of the tracks, particularly the risky stretch between Khanpur and Kotri, which has seen numerous deadly accidents in recent years. The Railway Department's plea in 2021 for a substantial 30 billion rupees fund allocation for the restoration of the 470-kilometer stretch of this route went largely unanswered. This incident is part of a distressing pattern in Pakistan's railways with frequent derailments on poorly maintained tracks. Over the past decade, more than 250 people have lost their lives and hundreds have been injured in similar accidents. This tragedy serves as a stark reminder of the urgent need to address safety issues and allocate adequate resources to maintain railway infrastructure. As the nation mourns this loss of life, it is a stark call for action to prevent such heart-wrenching incidents in the future. Moving on to some positive developments. Last week, Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdullahian embarked on his inaugural visit to Pakistan since assuming office. During the diplomatic engagement, he held discussions with his Pakistani counterpart, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, addressing a wide array of bilateral matters. Pakistan and Iran jointly formulated an ambitious 5-year trade cooperation blueprint during the talks. This strategic plan aims to achieve $5 billion worth in bilateral trade volume. The deliberations between the two sides also yielded a consensus on the activation of remaining border markets along the Iran-Pakistan frontier. Furthermore, an accord was reached concerning the repatriation of incarcerated individuals who have been sentenced in either of the two countries. The visit is taking place at a juncture when Pakistan and Iran are jointly striving to increase mutual cooperation. Notably, the recent re-establishment of diplomatic relations between Iran and Saudi Arabia has bolstered the prospects for expanded bilateral engagements. However, amidst these optimistic signals, it's important to acknowledge the existence of substantive challenges that could potentially impact the trajectory of bilateral relations. Foremost amongst these challenges is the divergent stance between Iran and Pakistan with regards to the Iran-Pakistan gas pipeline project. While Iran asserts its compliance by having completed its segment of the pipeline and calls for compensation due to Pakistan's inability to fulfill its commitments, Islamabad cites constraints arising from US sanctions as the reason for its inability to finalize the gas pipeline project. And while we're on the subject of neighborly relations, amidst escalating tensions, Pakistan and Afghanistan find themselves caught in a cycle of accusations and counter-accusations, with both sides pointing fingers at each other for orchestrating attacks within their borders. The recent surge in tit-for-tat exchanges has raised concerns as high-ranking officials from Pakistan, including the Chief of Army Staff and Foreign Office representatives, have directly implicated Afghan elements in a terrorist assault on Rogue Cantonment last month. This has added fuel to fire, further straining relations. Pakistan's frustration appears to stem from a rise in terrorist activities, particularly following the takeover of Kabul in August 2021. Despite Pakistan's pivotal role in facilitating the Doha talks and acting as a humanitarian corridor for aid to Afghanistan, the country finds itself grappling with an increasing number of terrorist incidents. On the other hand, Afghanistan's government spokesperson Zabiullah Mujahid has countered Pakistan's accusations by asserting that a considerable number of militants affiliated with the Islamic State group believed to originate from Pakistan have been neutralized or detained within Afghan territory over the past year. These accusations and counter-accusations paint a worrying picture of the current state of relations between Pakistan and Afghanistan. At a time when joint efforts are needed to combat terrorism in the region and address Afghanistan's pressing humanitarian needs, the tense environment threatens to hinder progress. The recent end of foreign occupation in Afghanistan offers a window of opportunity to foster regional trade and economic prospects, but the ongoing hostilities could impede the realization of these potential gains. And now for our feature story. In a significant development, an Islamabad trial court has handed down a guilty verdict against Imran Khan in the infamous Tosha Khana case. The court found him culpable of corrupt practices and sentenced him to 3 years behind bars, coupled with a fine of 100,000 rupees. The Tosha Khana case revolves around allegations that Khan deliberately concealed information regarding gifts he received from the registry of presents given to the government officials by foreign dignitaries during his tenure as Prime Minister. These allegations extended to the alleged proceeds from the sales of these gifts. The judgment said he cheated while providing information of gifts he obtained from Tosha Khana, which later proved to be false and inaccurate. Consequently, the verdict triggers a technical disqualification, barring Khan from holding public office for a span of 5 years, as stipulated by Article 63 of the Constitution. This development comes mere months after Khan's initial arrest on May 9th, which set off a chain reaction of violence and unrest, even leading to attacks on vital military and public installations. The government stands firmly behind the court's decision, asserting its impartiality and independence. Khan, on the other hand, addressed his party supporters through a pre-recorded message urging them to maintain peace during protests. The verdict has sparked polarized reactions across the nation. Some decry it as a miscarriage of justice, alleging that its purpose is to strategically incapacitate Khan from participating in the upcoming general election. In contrast, other observers contend that Khan's own actions have played a part in this outcome, accusing him and his party of employing a retaliatory approach, levying unfounded charges against the opposition to undermine their political influence during his time in power. The decision comes as the current government's tenure is set to end this week, and the Election Commission of Pakistan is constitutionally bound to hold elections within 3 months. The nation braces itself for a new era with implications that extend far beyond the courtroom. I am Hajira Asaf Khan, and this was your Weekly Dispatch.